Hi, you guys. I was getting dressed earlier today and I just had one of those visits from Archangel Raphael, and it was about health. And it was kind of a brief channeling, but I did not take it all the way through because I wanted to pick it back up live with you. So I kind of remember like the first sentence or so, and I'm going to go into that now with you guys, and the rest of it will flow. Really quickly, I'm actually trying to find, as you guys know, I'm trying to find my live here on my phone. Oh, good, I did. So I can actually see comments. Because for some reason, it's like the Bermuda Triangle in here. But now I'll be able to see your comments. So, okay, this is what he said. How am I going to set my phone up here? So I was getting ready in the bathroom, and he just started talking. And for a little background, if you guys don't know, I've been like really consumed with my health. It's been difficult. I've been going to a ton of doctor appointments. I'm still in the middle of it. I'm not out of it. I'm still a bit confused. I'm still honestly worried. I've had some uncomfortable conversations with my former husband, and this has happened before. In 2017, when I died, the year leading up to that, what I noticed was there was a really quite a significant clearing out of people in my life. And I want to say that not for sympathy, but simply to say that sometimes when we go through big shifts, it does seem that it's reflected around us, where like maybe it seems like there are less people in your life, or you notice, for me, for example, I've noticed my loneliness crop up. So that's the background. And that's obviously not ideal. And but I've also not wanted to feed that. So I was very grateful that Archangel Raphael just kind of came through and assisted in this way, and in this positive way talked about it. And so I'm just going to go for it, and I will be able to see your comments, but this is what he said. Okay, so I'm going to channel him again right now. So like with most words or labels, humans have come to make health mean one certain thing, as if the full scope of health of any human could properly be stuffed into just one word, or just one or two dimensions. It's as nonsensical as trying to capture what we know as God in one human word. And the image he's showing me with that is like of a little girl with like a tiny butterfly net trying to like capture Niagara Falls. And he said, your health is no different. Just as God never repeats itself, just as each and every human is so deeply different than their neighbor, even while seemingly contradictorily being one. This is true. We are all made of that same one God energy, but at the same time, we are all so vastly and wildly different. And this is why the ideal of health can never be expected to be stamped from one person to another. When you think about just the many levels, the many layers, the many energetic layers of any human being, what best comes to mind as a simplistic example is what you know of as, and he's showing me like those nesting dolls, those nesting Russian dolls. They're called, like, they're wooden and they're like in that kind of 8 shape, and like they just, you keep pulling one off and there's a smaller one, a smaller one, a smaller one. And he's saying that is a very basic but also a very accurate comparison to just how many layers, how broad and deep we go. What you see of me here, sitting here, these bones and this skin and my eyes and my teeth, that is the merest speck of the smallest doll, barely discernible to the world of spirit. Now, what is as grand as Niagara Falls are your many and truly infinite auric and etheric layers. Think of any human. You have physical, mental, astral, emotional, spiritual. Think of your light bodies. And again, think of all those infinite layers of your auric field extending all the way into the ether. So what is health? That is one of the most individual questions any one of you can ask yourselves. There may be one of you who with relative ease could run a 5K or even a marathon. But you could also, meanwhile, be burning away over a resentment from 10 years ago. That person is no more or less healthy than someone who uses a walker but harbors no resentment and has an inner freedom that the other could only dream of. Neither one is healthier than the other. You are divine instruments of the highest complexity. So of course, this question will seem and feel and be convoluted. What we ask of you, and this is something actually Jesus said to me a couple years ago when I was really judging myself, because I've gone through tremendous periods of physical sickness with my kids. You guys know, where I haven't been able, I've had to crawl around the house and leave them sandwiches on the floor like they were animals, So, and full transparency, one of the most harsh areas that I still judge myself has to do with motherhood. Now, I've gotten much better practiced at it. And when certain thoughts arise, I truly do. I can feel it in my gut. That practice has taken hold, and I don't judge myself for it. And I quickly supplant it with something positive. But I do look at myself, and I do wish I could be a different sort of mother. I wish I had energy. I wish my kids wouldn't sometimes find me like my son found me a couple weeks ago, dead asleep on the kitchen floor in front of the open freezer because I had made the mistake of sitting down looking for my ice cream in the freezer, just passed out. So for example, I've got this secondary narcolepsy due to neuropathy. So my blood is not getting properly to my extremities or my brain. And what that looks like to my kids is I'm super ornery. I have no patience because I have no energy. And what can be even worse or scarier is when I have a sleep attack. Like the first day my parents were up here and they took me out to breakfast, I actually fell asleep in my pancakes. Like my fork clattered and my face fell. And if I could wave a magic wand, I would have my children never see that. But I also trust above all else, and this is what Archangel Raphael's primary message is for all of us. And it's a hard one. It's a hard one when you're facing any sort of health crisis. And again, that could be physical, mental, astral, spiritual, emotional. But during these times, and during these times when I find myself screaming at my kids or something happens and I'm like, oh God, have I just scarred them for life? I don't know. But to just really, for me at least, and I hope this might uplift you, to cling to my belief that everything happens for us, not to us. And then I remind myself that even my former husband and my 2 children, that we all knew what themes we'd be exploring together before coming in, which obviously, how could it not include the ups and downs of our health? Now, I hope those 2 things bring some positivity. And then I also want to say, I hope they uplift you a bit, but while also still keeping you responsible and accountable, and still keeping you, as Jesus told me once a couple of years ago about this, we only ask that you keep trying. when I was first starting to try to forgive myself for like the 2017 year of sickness with my kids and what they saw, Jesus had said, we never asked you to be perfect. We only ask that you keep trying. And I can like look each of you in the eye and I can say, I've messed up just as much as any other human, and really badly too. But I can tell you with like my heart and soul that I have never stopped trying. You know, and I do feel like I am experiencing a weird kind of a loneliness, and what seems to be, maybe it's temporary, but what seems to be like a heightened loneliness where there seems to be kind of like an ebb of friendships, or and my parents aren't reachable right now either. So it's just kind of compounded to a weird feeling. And I know all of these qualities ebb and flow, but to be in a hard space and to be also in a space where you're feeling, you know, this kind of a looking around being like, where did some people go, is hard. But I will never give up. I will never quit trying. And I know that my health issues, and Louise Hay has come in to say this too, I do believe there is a component to every disharmony that is reflected and rooted in our emotional bodies. So even if your health issues are physical, please don't ignore your emotional body, meaning your feelings of late, the good and the bad, you know, because we cannot separate them out. That would be too machine-like. It's all enmeshed. It's all in there mixed together, affecting one another. So anyway, that was just the message I'd gotten this morning. And I really found it to be comforting, and I wanted to share it with you guys. I hope you guys enjoyed that too. And hopefully it kind of loosens any kind of firm, harsh grasp or firm, harsh judgment. Meanwhile, also still encouraging you to continue on and to keep seeking and to keep trying different modalities or different doctors, etc. Both those things at once. Like self-forgiveness while continuing to try. And not rolling over like a turtle on your back. You know, we have too much work to do here, all of us. We came here for such tremendous purposes. It is absolutely worth every bit of effort we put into this. So I love you guys. I hope this uplifted somewhat, and we'll talk really soon. Thanks for watching, you guys. Love you all. Bye.